right, greetings, everybody. Welcome to 1 Degree of Scandalous with Kato, Kalin, and Tom Zetter.
In person.
We're talking fashion today. We're talking style. We're talking NBA players that get dressed by an expert, NFL players, and celebrities, and a little scandal that goes along with that, too. So that's what's coming up here.
I know some girls that love to watch some NBA players get dressed. I'm talking about in the locker room, too. Brandon, please, you can laugh. We're not here. No. We'll introduce you. Just your laugh track. Just your laugh track.
Funny.
Yeah.
Whenever Kato starts a line with, I know a couple of girls, it's going to be funny, right? Because if his 30 years of knowing people, there's a story attached.
What are you wearing there, Giannis? This is just a loofah. It's a loofah. It's covering my papufa.
Nice bust.
That's Greek.
Yeah. Okay, another episode here. We're excited. Make sure you download and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Things are getting exciting. A lot of fun things. We got some announcements, hopefully, that we're going to be having about some things that Kato and I are involved in very soon. We'll keep crossing our fingers.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's a very exciting show. And you know what? Our show yesterday, last week with Serena, boy, people are loving it and really, really digging the show and the story of Jared Fogle.
Right. So, if you haven't seen last week's episode, go check it out on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Jared from Subway. That was his line, right?
Yeah,
yes,
it was.
And now I'm Jared at the
Federal Penitentiary.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah, we revealed a lot of facts about the show Jared the Monster, the Subway Monster.
Get him, and you go to a whole backlog of our shows on YouTube.
Yep.
And it's great.
All right, so let's see. I've been following the Gwyneth Paltrow trial a little bit. Okay, because it's fascinating. So she's in Park City, Utah, and we'll try to have something. I've been reaching out to a few reporters. We'll have someone next week because I think the trial's going to be wrapped up. But remember when there used to be great trials? This one,
it was. It's funny. It's Baldwin will be a great one. This one's kind of low key, no. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and I think if they want to get better ratings, they should have a scene where they call up a witness that brings up a box and it's Brad Pitt's head in there. What's in the box?
If the ratings,
what's in the box?
If the ratings are slumping for that trial, that's what they could do.
Bring Brad Pitt's head in a box.
That would be good. If your career is struggling, all you have to do is jaywalk, get arrested, and hopefully Court TV televises it.
Yes.
I mean, so she runs into this guy 7 years ago on the slopes in Park City.
This is 7 years ago, right?
7 years ago. In 2016, this happened. And he's accusing her of hit and run. I didn't even know that was possible.
Ski and run.
Okay, now I need to lean on you, Kato, because I have never skied in my life. Ever. I've never had skis on.
And you're from Minnesota.
Yeah, but there's no mountains there.
That's true. It's a lot of cross country. I've done that too, cross country ski. Kind of boring, but it's a great workout. Yes, I've skied, but I have not snowboarded. I tried snowboarding once, but I've skied, and I'm okay. It's I don't do it anymore because I figure I'm older. If you break something, you're done.
You're done.
And it's a
and then
long time for healing.
Why did I do that? Yeah. Why did I take that risk?
And it's good. You do the runs. I did the Park City. I did Aspen. And you do the runs, very expensive, and you go up, you do it 3 or 4 times. You're like, all right, let's go out for the night now.
Oh, yeah. See, I like to start that about noon. Let's go out for the night. I like going to Park City and Aspen. I was in Aspen last summer. I saw a bear. Right, no snow, but I did almost get attacked by a bear.
Cocaine bear, I know he attacked you. I heard all about it.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the etiquette? What is the protocol on a ski slope? Is there a lot of contact? Are there a lot of collisions?
Well, season-wise, if it's crowded on the season-wise, you can't help but sometimes run into somebody. And if you're not a great skier, you don't know, snow plow, or you don't know exactly how to make the swerves, the turns, the moguls. You have to be very careful. So I could see if someone's out of control. I don't know if she was out of control or not, but that's how you can bump into somebody. But I think it's common courtesy also. It's like, expect that when you're in a mountain. I'm sure there's disclaimer. It's like you may be injured on this hill by another skier.
Well, I would think
so. And it might be Pepper from the Iron Man films.
See, everybody I talk to has been injured skiing. Now, I like to go to parks. I'd like to do it, but I've never done it. Dave, do you have something? It looks like you have something to contribute.
I'm guilty of it because I went to North Carolina. I'd never seen snow.
Great ski state.
And I went there. I was like 7th grade. I had no idea how to stop, and so the only way I could stop was crashing into other people.
I have a friend just like that. Doesn't know when to stop, but that's only at a bar.
Hey, by the way,
no
I was one of those people, and I think I'm going to sue you, even though it was 28 years ago.
Yeah, the statute of limitations must have been running out, and I think that's probably why. It's like, hey, you got another month, 7 years. Statute of limitations up. We're going to go to court. I don't know if that's true, but that could be one of the reasons why.
You know what I found fascinating about this trial? Remember when Gwyneth was married to Chris Martin, right? The lead singer.
Coldplay.
For Coldplay. And they had the baby and they named her Apple. Remember that was a big deal? Apple. She's 18. She's going to testify in this trial. Don't get that look, Brandon.
I mean, it's exciting. I mentioned there was a couple different instantaneous thoughts, but go ahead.
Yeah, Brandon's going, I think I could dress an apple. Something red,
Right?
maybe green.
Yeah.
Maybe something my Granny Smith would wear. But okay.
So anyway, so the collision, once this thing wraps, we're going to talk to somebody that was at the trial in Park City. I've been talking to somebody at People Magazine, at the New York Post, so we're going to get somebody, and we'll break this thing down. She countersued for $1. He sued for $300,000.
Right.
So we'll see.
I think, and we'll don't talk about this anymore, but I think if she countersued for $1, I think the jury looks at that like, I possibly it's all in her favor.
You know what?
That's a great move.
Or if you're Gwyneth Paltrow, you sue for $1, and as she did, attorney's fees, which is smart because she's going to get a team of attorneys that are kick ass.
Well, she's spending over $1 million on attorney fees, and it's for $7,000. So
Right.
And who knows the outcome of this? But
all right, how's your bracket? March Madness? You alive?
My team was Marquette. I'm very upset. I stopped watching. Although I did see at a bar the UCLA Gonzaga. Now I'm rooting for the Zags to win it all, or I'm rooting for San Diego.
The crazy thing when you watch these games, because they're as good as ever. It's a good tournament. Haven't been any buzzer beaters, but it's been really good across the
buzzer
board.
beater was yesterday.
What kind? That was 7 seconds. Are you talking about Gonzaga? That was 7 seconds.
1.2 seconds left. That was it.
Not Gonzaga.
Yes.
No. That was 7 seconds left.
Okay, 7 seconds, but then they got the ball back at 1 point. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But no, that was a very exciting
I consider
game.
that a buzzer beater.
It's when you watch these games, these players are making now Timmy, the star for Gonzaga, 900,000. Maybe $1 million.
What name, image, likeness?
Yes, and NIL money. It's unbelievable. The play is as great. Imagine 3 years ago they were doing this for free,
Right.
basically, or whatever they could get on the side, little handshake from an alum. But now they're making big. But I love it. I love the transfer portal. I love how a team can regroup, almost like professional sports.
Yeah.
You got a need, you fill it, and then I like the fact that the players are getting paid. When I played college football, we didn't get paid, and it was 3 practices a day back when I was a kid. I remember I loved the game show Sale of the Century. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
It was on in the 80s, and I got on that show, and I came to LA, and I was going to tape it, and then I found out my coach called me, or one of my coaches, I couldn't go on it because it was going to violate some NCAA rule. That's as close as I got to getting paid, and I couldn't even go on the show.
I was on a
would've
show
won.
called Fantasy many years ago. Peter Marshall was the host. He also hosted Hollywood Squares, and I won a car.
Shut up.
I did.
Okay,
I won a car.
we got to have more on this story.
Well,
Come on.
it was four guys, and we had to go through some procedure. We had to guess something, and all 4 guessed whatever. I can't remember. This is a long time ago. So I guessed correctly, and it said, Kato Kalin, you win a car. But the car that I won, it was the Pontiac T1000. Oh no, Chevrolet 1000. It was the kind of car that's got like a kickstand.
Okay,
no, but it's
beggars
not.
can't be choosers.
But
It's a free car.
exactly, it was a free car.
Okay, tell me how the taxes worked on that. Did you get nailed?
You get the taxes for it. Yeah, right. And at that time, I was very young, and it was like, oh my God, the taxes are too much. I got to sell this puppy. So I sold it.
How about Peter Marshall? Because I know you want to be a game show host.
Yeah.
Did you tell him how to do his job, or say, and hand me that microphone?
No.
Hand me that really
He
narrow,
definitely-
thin microphone.
Definitely likes me. No, that's Gene Rayburn with the thin mic match game.
Yeah.
Peter Marshall behind a desk doing Hollywood Squares.
Of course, Kato was on a game show, and of course, he won a car. Love it. Okay, before we bring in our guest, I want to say hello to a visitor who's here today, a friend of mine from Scottsdale, Carrie Cussy. Very good friend, very stylish, very beautiful. Brandon, you two can talk fashion later. By the way, she used to give me a hard time over my Starbucks order because it used to be weird. Now I order like a double espresso, plain black. Back then I had like 13 things going on.
I'll tell you, Carrie Cussy is one name you don't want to misspell. I'm telling you. Oh, my goodness.
Carrie, I warned you. I warned
Carrie
you.
Cussy.
Do you have anything to say for
I'm
yourself?
Just saying, holy cow. Can you imagine that? I had a few drinks like, hey, Carrie.
Carrie, don't take any crap from Kato Kalin.
That's okay, Carrie.
You got to have like over a higher.
But she can get away with it with that look, can't she?
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
that's it.
All right, enjoy. Happy belated birthday. It was her birthday, and she's here from Scottsdale.
We got a few people.
Courtesy of
It's
Detroit, and her
we have a
friends are
live
here
show.
celebrating with her. All right, you ready to bring in our guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Man, I should have dressed up a little bit more. He's looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with that
Yeah.
guy?
That's not the way. That's not the reason why I'm looking at you.
Brandon Williams. Brandon, great to see you.
Yes, man.
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Quick little intro. Brandon is a Columbus, Ohio native.
Midwest.
We're gonna dig down into this a little bit because you're gonna see how stylish this guy is. He's an image analyst and a style expert. He gets paid. He dresses NBA players. He works. He has a job with Hudson Jeans. He has his own line of jeans with Hudson Jeans. Celebrities. So he really lives the Hollywood lifestyle. Got a lot of A-list clients and a fascinating career. And it took a lot of guts, Kato. He just moved out here. Yeah. How old were you, Brandon, when you said, "I'm out of Buckeye State. Let me get to where the stars are"?
I was old enough, put it like that. But like 23, 22. Okay. So right. I was a man, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But I was fresh out of college. I had to break up with my girlfriend, who at the time I thought was going to be my wife. I said, well, she actually wanted to move to LA with me. She was a Cavaliers dancer. My whole life centers around like a lot of
Was that
NBA
LeBron
stuff.
era? Was he there?
It was LeBron era. Yeah, it
so
was LeBron era.
The arena was rocking. I mean, that was big time.
Yeah, 100%. She was a Cavaliers dancer. Shout out to Rayma. She now lives in, someone said North Carolina earlier. She lives in North Carolina now. By the way, I didn't know that was a ski state.
Oh, yeah, exactly. North Carolina.
Different kind of skiing.
The North Carolina hills.
Rayma is now, you can't stand, she's in
North Carolina.
So when you are dating a dancer, and you're young, right, at the time?
Yeah, 22.
So you don't have this career that you have going on now, right?
No.
So how was that for you? Were there players sitting on? Was there jealousy? Was there stuff that had to happen?
Dude, so
where you're, I mean, let's face it, you're a young guy.
Scandal alert! Scandal alert!
So everything happens in your life in sequential order, I think, right? So in that time, I had to get ready for being able to have to handle the Hollywood lights because when I'm dating Rayma, she's seeing all these NBA players. Coincidentally, my brother-in-law was a big NBA athlete at the time. Michael Red, shout out to Mike Red for the
That's your
Milwaukee
brother-in-law.
Bucks.
Yeah, I got his jersey.
That's what's up. So we got to talk.
That's your brother-in-law.
That's my brother-in-law.
Okay,
Very
so
cool.
Michael Red of Milwaukee Buck. I've got Michael's jersey.
Legend.
Because I'm from there. So
and then also one of my favorite clients, Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So I'm with the Bucks all day, every day.
Fantastic.
Anyway, so everything happens in your life for sequential order. I had to get used to at that time seeing NBA guys having this hot girlfriend around and like having the confidence, right? So first week out in LA, I come in. Do you remember it was I think Nightingale or not Guys and Dolls nightclub on
Here?
Beverly? Yeah, here.
Gay bar, Tom, you know it.
So no.
How can I forget? I closed it down every night.
Guys and Dolls, really dope Hollywood club, and literally I go in the first week in LA. And she had connected me with LA, the Laker girls, her friends.
Wow, how horrible.
Your ex-girlfriend.
Boy, Brandon, you've had a terrible life. What a loser.
I mean, can you think about that?
It sucks to have this face, man.
You broke up with the girl, but she still helped you out. That's great.
Well, I don't think she knew that I was connecting.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been the Clipper girls.
I kind of like just, sidestepped and connect with someone who I knew was her girl. She said, sure, I'll take you guys out. So I went out with her and her girls, and she was meeting up with some of the guys. You're not supposed to do that, by the way.
No, they don't like fraternizing. And you know what? They don't really. It doesn't really happen. The players don't really date the cheerleaders.
At all. So I'm thinking I'm the shit. I go and I'm like, well, this is going to be a great night. I'm like, fly. And they're linking up with a couple of the NBA guys. They let all these girls in. I'm in the back of the line trying to be this Midwest gentleman, okay? Yeah. The guy, I'm not going to put him on blast. He asked, the bodyguard says, or the security says, are you with him? He looks back and he goes, no, we don't know him. And the girls go in the club without me.
Wow.
First week in Hollywood.
Okay, so did that kind of like put a little chip on your shoulder?
Yeah, dude. I was like, this will never happen to me ever again.
It's
and it did for about a couple years.
Maybe a blessing that it did, though, right? I mean,
No,
because if it would have
100%.
been easy street, you walk right in and have a great time. You think everything is easy.
No,
here.
I needed that wake up call just because you grew up in the Mavs being this big fish in a small pond kind of thing, and you come out here and you realize like, we're not just competing with like John from down the street. Whose family owns a law firm, big money. We're competing with all of the stars and the biggest stars in the world. Like, you got to really, like, bring it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're going to get to the part where, you have these famous clients.
Yeah.
Because you don't answer an ad, Kato, and have a job or a career like this.
Yeah.
You got to make it happen on your own. But growing up, was there never a doubt you were the most fashionable guy around? Did everybody know that about you?
Well, you get high school superlatives like when you graduate, and I did get most fashionable guy. most likely to succeed in fashion.
That's what it said in your
Yeah,
yearbook.
that's what my high school superlatives were.
Mine said most likely to crash on your couch. So that was what it said on my, which is not, I didn't know
How
back
prophetic.
then. I know. It's like, really? Most likely to crash on your couch? All right, whatever. So
And the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, you got a lot of people running around Columbus, though, in Ohio State gear, right? I mean,
100%.
a
Everybody looks like-
Buckeye
Yeah,
shirt.
everybody's bucket. Yeah.
Everybody, I feel like Ohio, like, and you're from Midwest,
Yeah.
like we understand. And everybody looks like they're going to the airport. You know what I mean? It's just like you're at the mall, you're going to get the food court is where you're going to dinner. It's
But
like,
I love. I'm going to be a little different in this thing. I'm very. I love. First of all, I love being from Wisconsin.
I love it too.
visiting, and I love when like Madison to dress up in red, the Packer gear, because for me personally,
Yeah.
it just I go.
That's
All
where you're
right,
from.
that's where I'm from, and
Yes.
I respect it. And I have so many friends that come and visit me, and I have hey, Kato, what up? We'll go get a beer or something. Great. And I love it. I go, okay, that's where I'm from. I never talked like that growing up. I never was one to talk, but I go back there, and my family and everybody just talks like that. Well, maybe
The
Friday
Midwestern
we get a fish
yeah,
fry.
I'm gonna say that I do appreciate it, but just kind of I'm the bridge. I'm the bridge of elevation. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever want to take those sweats up a notch, I got you.
You can do it. What happened when you left the club that night? Were you a sad little boy that had to take a cab and go somewhere else?
No, I'm gonna tell you, I had a great night. I'm a hustler. I'm never gonna stay down. So one of the girls, she felt so bad. I texted her. She came out and she took me to a strip club, and actually she took me to the Boom Boom Room. And she said, "Don't tell anybody this is happening." And the one thing led to another. And I left and went home and said, "All right, cool. I see you, Lord."
A real true Hollywood
Yeah.
story here. Happy
great.
ending.
Well, I was going to go there. So you're
I
out-
didn't know it was though.
okay, but that motivated you.
It did.
So how did
It was
that
like
get
sympathy.
how did that get you into fashion?
Well, it didn't get me into fashion, but it just kind of like highlighted why I'm here. Like I don't have time to waste. It put a fire under my ass in terms of like I need to go hustle. I need to go make this happen because for real, I don't want to. No guy ever wants to feel that from a
Yeah.
group of like girls that he's trying to holler at or like trying to get respect from.
So who's the first celebrity you dressed, and did that celebrity turn to get you another person? Was it a thing where you got that, now I got that, now I got this person?
Yeah.
And that's probably how it worked. But who was the first?
So it started in the NBA, and it started right in my own backyard. Michael Redd.
Okay, yeah.
He gave me.
Yeah.
So I came out here and I got an internship with a celebrity stylist. And my first day on the job, I was in the studio with DeBarge and Babyface, and just being an intern. So one thing led to another, and Michael called me. He said, "Hey, you ready to come work for me?" And I was able to do that. And then the next thing was, for a while I was mad because Michael was like, us guys, we don't like to share. Girls, they're like, "Oh, you should have your hair done by my hairdresser," and da-da-da-da-da. Well, it led to Michael Conley. Mike Conley, who he gave me my start in terms of the younger guys in the NBA. And then
Ohio State guy.
Ohio State.
Yeah, they played for the Mavericks, right?
Played it for a ton of teams.
Yeah.
So
Utah.
Memphis, Utah, and now the Timberwolves.
Okay.
So that's where I get all my Park
And
City
his
stories
dad
from.
is the famous triple jumper,
100%.
world record holder, Olympic
gold
medalist.
medalist. They got a really rich family of athletes and now style athletes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's really cool. So that helped Michael Redd, and then
Yeah.
good guys too. Mike Conley's a stand-up dude.
It's a common theme. A lot of good guys, and so it keeps me in line. So
Yeah.
I get to share my Hollywood stories with them because they're rooting me on.
I love the story. I love the story of the hustle, right? And
Right.
the first time I met Brandon was at Jason of Beverly Hills' showroom, his office. And there's no better hustler than Jason.
Jason is a man.
The story of how he built his career as the A-list jeweler to the stars, the guy that does all the championship rings, did the Milwaukee Bucks rings, did the Rams rings, the Bucks. I mean, holding out hope that he gets the Chiefs rings. He's going to find out, I think,
Yeah,
today.
I hope so.
Good luck, Jason. I can't believe a team would pick someone other than Jason of Beverly Hills.
I know it's really strange. You know who did? And I had a client that played on this team, the Atlanta Braves. They didn't have him do the ring.
know.
I was like, but the Braves ring was nice though.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk Jason into coming on the show, but he kind of stays on the down low, which is cool. But the story, Kato, of how he has to hustle to get these gigs, you'd think it's automatic because he's got the best, and the players want him. Right,
Yeah.
because he outdoes it every
Yeah.
single time. So they want the next best thing. You know who his competition is? It's Jostens, the
Which
class
is like-
ring company. Isn't
Dude,
that-
it's so crazy.
That'd be like your competition being Haynes or something.
Or Joseph A. Banks.
right.
But they must have a division there right? A
Yeah, but
division that
there's
does
still
like, okay.
nothing like his rings. The
Yeah.
imagination that goes into it.
The presentation.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Shout out to Jason. He did my chain today too.
Nice,
Yellow diamonds.
nice. Okay, so I love the story of the hustle, and you get the
Yeah.
one player, but then you got to prove yourself. You
gotta prove yourself.
right? Because he's on display every single
Yeah.
day. He's being photographed, and he talks. That's the
Yeah.
best thing. It's the word of mouth in that industry, isn't it? Maybe let his agent know, and they share the story.
Definitely word of mouth. I mean, working with Mike Conley and Michael Red, those guys aren't even like the most boisterous guys or loud guys. Anyways, they're really efficient on the court. But being able to take their styles to the next level was cool. But my next moment, I think, was doing such a good job with Mike Conley got me to dressing Andrew Wiggins, the #1 draft pick. And that is an iconic moment for men's fashion and NBA fashion, particularly because of what we put him in and how it changed, like the way guys go to award shows and red carpets. Right. They tried to make a sneaker out of the actual textile that we picked the fabric for a suit. Drake made a song about it. A. Wiggins draft day. I mean, it was a big deal. There were Walmart costumes for Halloween with Andrew Wiggins draft day.
Wow, so that's a big deal. That's the badge of honor. If you make the suit for the
sure.
draft day,
Yeah.
right? When they shake
Right,
Adam Silver's
yeah.
hand.
#1 draft pick.
And almost like people always look out for the outfits when they walk into a game of the
100%.
show, and they look at the ex-Laker. I forget his name. West.
Kyle Kuzma.
No. He's got a car dealership. He just got traded.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell.
Russ.
How he dresses.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that you were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're there and dating the cheerleader.
Yeah.
You obviously probably met LeBron James.
Well, ran into him. But,
Okay,
like,
I would say that if
not
you
cool
get
enough.
I was going to say if you get an endorsement because I'm sure people are just always. He can make someone's career even bigger than what yours is.
100%.
And it's sort of like you can't really be this obsequious person, like bowing down to anything he
No,
says.
no.
You got to kind of play it cool, and that's got to be a word of mouth too.
Definitely
And-
word of mouth.
Yeah, so it's. I would think that you got to where you're at. You got to go
Yeah.
high profile.
Yeah, and it's kind of tricky too because again, the proximity that you are with these guys that are larger than life, and you come into a situation where you have to have humility, but you also have to stand your position and kind of
Yeah.
like be about what you're about, So it's tough.
I think the thing that would help, in my opinion, this could help you, is someone design something where it's like, do you know when you walk out of a store and you forget to take the tag off and they start beeping off, and you have 2 or 3
Yeah,
of them,
I love that.
and
I
someone's
love
like, okay, wait a minute, look what he's wearing.
Who's
He's got
the
the thing.
thing?
He stole this, but he got through security.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing.
Here it is, right, Brandon?
That is it.
Boom. Okay, we're going to put that up on the screen for everybody.
Absolutely.
But wow, okay, where do you start? Is it a collaborative effort? You say, okay, I'm thinking tuxedo, I'm thinking bow tie. Whose idea was it?
So I collaborated with a wonderful designer by the name of Warrior Boswell. He's the man. And at the time, again, no one had dressed like that. I mean, it seems like very, very normal when we look at it now.
Yeah.
But back then in 2014, 2013, it wasn't like very normal to see. So you start off by just finding out who the person is. You know what I mean? What their things are. What their start point is. A lot of people start with the shoes. A lot of people start with the hair. Like whatever it is. Like even from his haircut down to his bow tie and whatever accessories he was wearing. It's a conversation.
It's their coming out party. I mean, it's
Yeah,
their
for
first
sure.
impression. And style's very important to these guys. And it's kind of a tradition where you're showing off what you're looking like. It's a big deal. I'm sure it was a lot of weeks and months almost
100%.
planning this and figuring it out. Plus, how about the symmetry there? Drafted by the Cavaliers.
It's full
Wow.
circle. It's full circle, right? And you have all these conversations, and it has to. You talk about symmetry. Everything has to be in alignment too with whatever's going on with the other brand partners that they have, maybe in their brand portfolio, even before draft. So now we have a lot more to even consider with the NIL deals we were talking about earlier, name and likeness. That's a big part of these guys are coming out of high school, making $1 million already. So it's a whole different thing now.
Yeah. I think everybody wants to know, does it pay well? Right? I mean, is there
yeah.
big bucks in this? I'm sure there is. You get the right clients and you get enough clients, but is there maybe some false illusions of maybe how glamorous the job is, or is it awesome?
Well, there's a part of me in this moment right now that I want to start bragging, but there's also a part of me that's a smart businessman and says no, I'm still climbing my way to the top. So that way, I can still, because when you are looking for an opportunity, it's different than when you become the opportunity. And so for myself, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I started Garanimals and someone stole it, so that was me, and I made nothing. Okay, it's like Kato in your pants. You need that elephant drunk. What the hell is going on with that elephant?
but you did win a car on a game show.
You did. No, that's,
I did. Jeez,
and that's cool. I didn't know. So you really did want to be a game show host?
Yeah, I
That's
did.
amazing.
How does he not have that job? He's the best in the world.
I feel
He'd
like
be the perfect one.
Been sitting here for about like 15, 20 minutes, and I feel like this is like the ultimate think tank.
It
You guys
is.
have some really good ass ideas.
Thank you.
You know,
Hey,
like
but-
you guys should be a consulting good for all like trial TV situations and consult about how to get the ratings up.
And if it doesn't work, Tom, I say we go to the supermarket and consult on anything sold in trial size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mouthwash, shampoo. All right. It's not the trial we're talking
That's
about.
amazing.
We have trial
Rapid fire.
size. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I love to ask everybody who meets Kato for the first time, what was your first impression? Pure energy.
Pure energy. I mean,
Joy.
He sidestepped me and went straight for the pretty lady.
I'm married. No,
I'm just kidding.
Because he's a gentleman. It was agreed.
It was
Yes,
it was
Yeah, I
100%
did,
just a gentleman type of move. Pure energy.
when I heard the word "cussy," I had to.
No, it makes. Is that how you pronounce it?
Tom,
Wait,
you got to
is
go
that-
through edit. That's "cussy's" not a bad
Do you-
word.
do you
Is
know
that,
how,
that's how
like-
you pronounce it, Kusi?
Her name is Carrie. Okay, period.
Oh, Carrie.
Hey, listen.
She
Are
has
there
great
is there a lot?
sunglasses.
Is there a lot of competition for you?
No, I would like to. Well, my ego tells me there's no competition, right? But yeah, of course, now it is, and I think that everyone thinks they can do this kind of a job, and it's just about giving ideas and going shopping for somebody. But it's much more strategic than that. You kind of have to have advanced communication skills and people skills, just understanding like what the power or value is in foresight, right? Understanding who somebody is without having a full blown conversation with them. It's a skill.
So let's go through this. Tom, let's say Tom's a football player and he's on TV. He's a star on the team.
Yeah.
What's the procedure? Do you call him and say we're going to meet together and I'm going to dress you, or you pick stuff out, or do you go to his place because maybe he doesn't want to be seen?
Yeah. I mean, I just ask what his preferences are. Like, what are your ideas? Why are you contacting me? You know what I mean? Do you have style goals or whatnot? Who's the girl that you're trying to impress? You know what I mean? Things like that.
When you mention price.
After we talk about if there's some type of like connectivity with like the ideas that
Sure.
in a way I do my job.
Because then you get an understanding that they know this might be a little bit more expensive.
No, for sure. But I already know that I've already done my homework and I know that they can afford it. And it's about value. So if they have to see the value first and understand that we're on the same page. And that's just, again, communication skills.
Plus, you want to be in there for the long haul. You don't
Yeah.
want to hit them with the fall wardrobe and then be cast aside.
Yeah,
you also
exactly.
probably pray every night they gain 30 pounds, right?
Yeah. You get
Well,
new clothes all
Got
the
to
time.
fill up that closet.
No,
again.
what I do is I pray every night that they don't try to forego their contracts because everything is contractual. That's what a good lawyer does.
Wow. Very good.
Bring
How
it
long?
back in.
How long can you get them locked in, and then what's entailed in that? Like anything that they wear in public, you have to have a say in, or how
No.
detailed are the contracts?
We definitely share like intellectual. I call it the ideas intellectual properties, right? But the contracts typically start off with like just a year. I don't tend to touch any situation if I can't, because it's hard to make anyone care about what somebody's wearing just off of one time that you dress them, right? Everybody can't hit the red carpet like an Andrew Wiggins or something like that. It has to be a continuous, very consistent effort to make someone understand who you are. And I look at it from more of a branding situation anyways, and that just takes repetition.
But you have to. You can't have it where it's got to be your contract can't say if you go out on a daily thing. It's got to be for an event, correct?
Yeah,
it
well-
can't be just like I'm going to to a drive-through.
Yeah, it's not specific like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a contract that gives a list of services where it's just like I give a lookbook every month. And so they can pick and choose where they wear those outfits, If it's to a red carpet, great. If it's to a game, cool. If it's to the supermarket, great.
Has there been a clothing scandal yet where you dressed a player and
Clothing
someone else
scandal.
and someone was wearing the same outfit and they're like, I'm pissed, man. You're done. Give me
Could
that
you
con-"
imagine they both have the
Yeah.
same outfit?
well,
it could happen.
There was a situation where the biggest clothing scandal I could think of is like there was I styled somebody for a Christmas Day game and they didn't tag me, and they wanted to tell like a lot of the press outlets that it was all their idea, and I was banking on that press to like really like highlight not only myself but highlight the relationship between the client and myself, and so they just took the opportunity and said, screw Brandon.
That's a big deal.
During Christmas?
Christmas Day
Because
game.
everybody's watching.
Was this person's name Santa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't wanna
I'd be
wanna
pissed.
give it away,
I'd
but
be pissed,
Santa's
too.
right.
I came up with the red suit and the big black belt.
Yeah,
Big old Louis Vuitton belt.
basically.
Yeah.
It was.
Are they contractually obligated to tag you when they post?
No, but it's very like disrespectful for them not to, because like, you guys have spent years in this town. People's work is everything. Their portfolio is everything. And so for this particular person, I was really not charging them what I should have. And it was built off of the idea of what opportunities might come from the situation. And that moment was a really big moment. I don't even want to give the name but I'll tell you this. The team that he played for, they play a lot on Christmas Day. And they have similar area codes to our phone numbers.
Huh. Okay. I think we can.
Lakers.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, super sleuths over here. We're going to figure it out. Was that a hard conversation with him?
Well, it ended up in a letter of resignation.
Okay.
Yeah.
He quit, huh? No. he quit playing.
Basically.
I'm out of the NBA.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah.
Have you been to any of the events, the NBA events or anything like the All-Star games and all that, where you were there and a fight broke out? A shooting. We hear about athletes a lot of times shooting. And have you ever been to any of those?
Have you ever been shot?
And if not, make it up. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, don't make it up.
I've definitely been shot, not by a gun. Yeah.
Verbally.
Yeah, with
verbally.
word shots.
Yeah.
Okay, word shot. Okay, that hurts too.
Caleb,
Vitamin-
it's not
vitamin
like
B.
it's not Syria. Okay, there isn't like gunfire after
what have you
every
been shot
game.
by?
Oh, I've seen fights at events. Like,
okay.
I ran for my life.
Well, listen.
Have you?
Yeah, I've seen fights
tell.
at some. I've been
serious.
at one of the parties of a major magazine where I was scared out of my mind. I've been at a club where I saw.
Was that the Hip Hop Awards?
No, I was at a very popular club where everybody would go back in the day. Where
Did it rhyme with Anshin?
No. It was actually restaurant club, very popular.
Okay.
Where I saw one guy pull out a gun, another guy with a gun, and I never seen in my life something like that. And I bolted out the door, and I couldn't believe it was happening.
Wow.
And it was just, it was like normal. It was like, oh my god, those are guns.
It does hit you weird. Like being from, I would call my upbringing a little sheltered. I was at a nightclub situation in Vegas for New Year's Eve with a client and a couple of other celebrities that weren't clients, but guns got withdrawn, and just that is a very weird when it's right in front of you. You're like, wow, that actually could.
In the hotel?
No, in the actual club.
That had to be horrifying for both of you. I mean, seeing that because you never know. I mean, there's
I've never
chaos.
seen it.
They're turning
I actually
around.
had I had a friend that was doing a little like business in illegal narcotics that I didn't know at the time, but I was,
Now we're talking.
yeah,
What happened?
so basically, like he saw the gun getting drawn, and he's one of the people in the entourage, and so I was sitting there, and I was brave enough, or maybe just a little bit too lit to even be scared, and he pulled his weapon out, trying to defend what was going on, just in case, and I got him away from the scene. And he was thankful, and he told me after that, like years later, like, thank you, because he was on probation. If he would have got caught.
Wow.
So
That could have been major.
Yeah, and
right. That's New York.
he said for life, I got you.
And for disclaimer for our show, we have to say, when you said Entourage, we did not meet Kevin Connolly.
Oh, yeah. Shout
and
out
the
to
crew.
Kev.
Not because we film here at the Entourage, the guys, Kevin.
Yeah.
Connolly
Right.
Studio 8
No
PM.
gunfire.
There's
Yeah,
no gunfire
no go.
here.
Yeah.
What's the next step? What's the next evolution? Is it have you branched out hip hop actors?
Yeah. So I think like for me, it's just getting more into the entertainment scene, and actually like being able to style women, because the women are like the fashion gurus they're just no better representation of art than a woman, and to be able to be contributed to that, I can't wait. And baseball, man, baseball is an underserved market, and so I have like a really like heavy concentration when it comes to baseball. I'm going to be working with a guy by the name of Marcus Stroman, Dansby Swanson, Cub guys.
I know Stroman. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know these guys' names,
Yeah.
and I think
And Jack Flaherty.
I think also Jack with St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, there you
Jack
go.
Because I follow the Brewers, but I think the baseball market's going to get bigger because of Otani. I
Yes.
just think it's a more international. You could do. But I have an Asian wife, so I know
Yeah.
Asian fashion. Everything Asian with the fashions, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel Asians are so ahead.
Oh, they're
of
very-
fashion.
what?
Like I that's my opinion. I see that.
They
as
are.
oh my God, are you going to the moon?
They
Are you,
design
from
clothing
Mars?
like Apple designs iPhones. I mean, it's just that dope. You know what I mean? So
Very cool.
Yeah.
And baseball players too. I mean, these guys there's more opportunities if you're looking good.
Yeah.
Right? There's more opportunities to get noticed and for things off the field. So for a baseball player with so many games, is it more wardrobe? Is it more outfits that they have to be prepared for road trips and things?
I think my approach is going to be that I want to just take particular moments. Every game is not a moment, right? So just taking the opportunity to say, like, what games should we concentrate on? Those guys, if you look at back in the day, we had Ken Griffey Jr., we had all of these different Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa. There's no Barry Bonds. Right now, even though there's really talented guys in the league, obviously, there's no stories about these guys. So I want to
get them all roided up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know a guy? Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, Brandon. What's it like in the community of you fashion gurus that dress NBA players? Because sometimes you have to see Russell Westbrook and go, you look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma, I got respect for him because he takes chances.
Yeah.
But are you laughing and posting things or maybe talking trash with their stylist?
No, I'm not gonna talk trash. I mean, you put on some bullshit. We know, you know what I mean. And I'd rather just be a little more self-deprecating to build the camaraderie. But like to me, I think that if you go out the house and you don't get a lot of compliments, you know that what you're wearing is like when Russell. By the way, I respect art, right? But when Russ put on that, he had a traffic. I don't even know what you want to call it, but a traffic vest. It was like
Orange vest.
The orange vest. You know what I'm talking about, right?
You're picking up leaves on the side of the road. Community service vest.
Community service vest.
Yeah.
Now look, who would have thought about that? But here I am on this podcast talking about a moment. So you have to just kind of respect the idea, the fact that like they saw something that we didn't.
I guess.
But yeah, it is a little like you're like I wouldn't do that, and I still wouldn't do it. But like, shout out to him.
You know, I think you have to be very careful, and I mean this. I think you have to find clients.
Yeah.
That have the types of personalities that can really rock this.
100%.
Because Russell Westbrook is not a likable NBA player. He just
But
isn't.
he is a likable guy, though. I want to say that.
Nobody knows that, right?
That's
All
true.
we have
He's
is
a
what
man,
we
right.
see.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at it, you want to feel joy when you see work of art, which you provide. So is that a criteria for you? Are you
so.
judging them by their personality and who they are?
1,000%. Like just for conversation's sake, Russell Westbrook is like one of the coolest guys ever. And I have a client that is by the masses probably misunderstood, Matt Barnes. And he's been my client for the longest time, all the way through driving all the way from spring training or not spring training, but like training camp to go whoop Derek Fisher's ass. You know, that all of the drama, and he couldn't be a better guy. Like he couldn't be a better client. He's probably one of my favorite clients.
It wasn't a thing. Barnes and a ex-wife.
That's
there
what
was
I'm
a
saying.
huge thing.
Well, because that was the story.
No, are you talking about Matt Barnes being a great guy?
Yes.
I agree.
He is the
What was
best.
the story?
The story is this. So Derek Fisher.
Yeah. When he was a Laker.
Yes.
And then a coach too, right?
Yeah. So Derek Fisher at the time was the LA Sparks coach.
L.A. Sparks?
Derek Fisher, yeah, he was right. He was coaching
women's team?
the Sparks, yes.
Okay.
And so, I mean, Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes were teammates on the Lakers,
right?
And so somehow, some way, when Matt and his wife at the time, ex-wife, split up, Derek crept in.
Yep.
And
on his wife.
Yeah, on his
they got
wife.
together. They were together.
And no one knew. And so how he found out, Matt found out was that his sons, I mean, this is a well-documented situation.
His kids got involved.
His kids had mentioned it to him. He found out it was at that point, I think every guy from a standpoint of like Matt's would feel some kind of way. And he was in training camp at the time, and he got in a car. Kanye West actually even made a song about and made a rap lyric about the fact that he got in this car from training camp 2 hours and drove, and then confronted D Fish.
Yeah, just went right over there
in his house,
like in Bel Air or something.
D
showed
Fish
up.
was in his house,
and I think Matt won that altercation too.
He sure did. Matt will win. Matt will pretty much win.
Matt doesn't play.
Was there a fight? Was there?
There was probably
something
harsh words and the threat of it in the air, like you're done doing something.
Allegedly.
Stock tip, Dave. Get Derek Fisher and Matt Barnes on the phone now.
Hey, Dave, now. Matt Barnes played for Orlando, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He has the infamous he throws the ball like he acts and Kobe doesn't flinch. Like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Matt, shout out to Matt Barnes. Matt is like, I just want to say, he's just the coolest dude.
He played for the Phoenix Suns, and I did this story with him, this magazine piece, and I still remember it. He was so cool. Sometimes the people that you think are the worst are the best. I'll give you an example. I used to write for Details magazine. I used to write for Maxim magazine too. God, I wish I'd done a story on you back in the day. That would have been so much fun.
Still have time.
In
I'll
the
talk
late
to you.
90s.
Call me.
So the editor that I used to work with at Maxim went to Details, so I went with him. So I was always pitching stories. I got this story with Michael Jordan that I actually got in trouble with. David Falk, his agent, was really mad at me for this story because Michael was talking so much crap about getting out of tickets, speeding tickets, and he was talking about Jerry Krause ripping him in this story that I did. But I did this story for Details called Sports Jerks on Trial. So at the time, this was in the late 90s, we took the guys that were perceived to be the biggest jerks. It was Don King, it was Albert Bell, it was Ryan Leaf, and it was the pitcher for the Dodgers at the time, that redneck pitcher that Fox ended up giving that private jet to. It'll come to me in a second. But anyway, Ryan Leaf was the coolest. Ryan Leaf was the coolest. Yeah, he really was. And of course, Ryan has a relationship. Who was the least coolest? Albert Bell.
You said the pitcher.
Albert Bell.
Albert Bell was beyond uncool.
I knew it.
But no, Kevin Brown was the name of the pitcher.
Brown,
okay,
right,
so Kevin Brown was the worst.
Okay.
And Kato, it has something to do with Milwaukee. So I had it set up. I interviewed all these guys, and I had it set up where I was going to interview Kevin Brown before I think he was playing for the Dodgers before the Brewers game.
Right.
And I drove from Minneapolis to Milwaukee to interview him, and he refused to talk to me, even though he said he would, and we had this whole thing set up, and he was just such a jerk. You know how some athletes just don't care? They're like, I've been around Michael Jordan so much.
They agreed to do the press, and then they act like it's like the biggest pain in the ass.
But I was lucky.
You agreed.
I was lucky because I was around Michael Jordan 25 years ago, 28 years ago, every day. So if you're around him and you see how he can be, how cool he is, nothing phases you, because if another athlete is just like doesn't have the time for you, he's like, whatever. Right. But Matt Barnes was cool.
He is. I'm just saying. And that's the thing. When you look at a guy's fashion, like Russ might have this polarizing like demeanor, but then you look at some of his fashion choices, that takes like a guy into the arts. That takes a guy like kind of a worldly guy to be able to. He can't be that bad. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just. He's one of the best.
I think you addressed personality. I can't think of the guy who passed away from TNT. So the guy,
Craig Sager,
right?
Who would be the halftime reporter?
Sure,
He did not have a stylist. He probably said one of the most unusual.
Coach.
That was his thing.
But that was him, and then
that was his thing.
I'll tell you how it works too. He wore an outfit one time,
and that was it.
And then someone made a comment, and then it went on social media, and then he said, "Hey, I've got something here," and that was it. And they said, "How could I outdo this one?" Yeah. He puts a little pressure on himself to
100%
the ugliest coats and all that.
But
and you know who else is like Walt
Frazier,
Clyde Frazier.
Yeah. Oh, he was the original.
He was the original. He's still to this day that guy. Too.
By the way, fun fact about Craig Sager, and this comes full circle to this conversation. He married a Chicago lovable. He married a Chicago Bulls cheerleader.
See,
there's
a lot of secret
fun info.
There's a lot of secret commingling.
Married a long time ago because he passed away. Was that his wife?
No, that was his wife when he died. Craig was a great guy. You know, if you were around the NBA, he was so cool.
There's something to be said about these dance teams and these players. There's a lot of storylines. Somebody needs to get in a crevice there.
Hey, Kato, I think Brandon's a little too comfortable right now. He doesn't realize he's in the hot seat. This is a show about scandal.
Here we go.
I'll start. Kato will go next. Which athlete owes you the most money right now?
This is the hot seat.
Can you give us his number? His jersey number?
Well, listen, I will tell. Can I just say this? This is a pivot from this conversation because honestly, no one owes me any money.
Okay, good.
We're on a direct deposits all day. Over
okay,
here,
perfect.
You know?
All right.
Smart. Got that good contract. Can you confiscate the clothing if they don't pay for it?
No, but there is a creative way where you can say, oh, okay, you don't want to pay me. I can kind of get the stores charge a restock fee, and if you're an established stylist like myself, you don't have to put that on them. So that's a 20%. Say if I go to Tom Ford and I pull a whole rack, that's about $100,000 worth of clothes. What's 20% of that? So. Okay, you don't want to pay me? Well,
Kato, you know you're in trouble. You know, if you got the Ferrari that you can't pay for, the tow truck comes to repossess it.
100%.
When a luggage rack comes by your house and they're coming to get that Tom Ford suit.
Or you wear it one time and you have to buy it and then you say, I'll just ship it back to me whenever. Oh, and it just never comes back.
Okay. Have you?
So when Tom Ford dresses Bond, and they get publicity for dressing James Bond films, does Tom Ford get the money, or does Tom Ford go, I'll pay you guys to have my suits in this?
I think that, it could be both. It could be both.
Because the character could fit that so much.
It could be the wardrober, that says, hey, Tom Ford is the preferred method, and the savvy stylist or the wardrobe department goes to Tom Ford, and they are the ones who are.
Did you hit on other girls on the Cavaliers dance team when you were dating your girl?
Well, no, but like that one girl that took me out in L.A., she used to be a Cavaliers girl with my girl, and she was a Laker girl.
I knew there was that. I knew there was a setup there. You didn't just meet someone.
I'm a good guy though. So now I'm changed.
Here's it's my turn. How many times did you use your Ohio roots to try to get LeBron? And how come it hasn't worked?
You know what? LeBron's always had a stylist, and because he has had his team from A to B since high school.
Everybody that he
since
grew up with
ninth
works
grade.
for him. Yeah, no, right. Now, that's one thing. That's one of the charms of LeBron.
Yeah.
And you know what? He picks a pretty good
I can't
group of guys around
complain.
him.
Shout out to
So
LeBron
you probably,
and
you
the
probably
guys.
know his team then, right?
Yeah, I know
Maverick?
Mav is the man. So I had a show a little bit time on Uninterrupted, the platform that they own, and man, you know what? Those guys are just. If anybody's trying to become anything in this city from Ohio, we should look at them. Like honestly,
It's amazing. Maverick Carter's story is unbelievable.
Mav
Now
is
he's
the
dating
man.
Adele. I mean,
no, that's Rich Paul.
oh, Rich Paul. My bad. Of course.
By the way, like what an unlikely pairing, but good for them.
Very unlikely. That one came out of left field.
Adele
dates
dates-
Rich Paul, who's one of LeBron's guys from back in the day that used to sell T-shirts out of the trunk of his
That's
car.
how I knew.
But
I
he's
And
knew-
he's now a big agent.
but he's
for
an
Clutch.
agent.
He's the Clutch Sports.
Yeah,
main
it
agent.
was. He started the agent. That was the agency that he started. And once he, this is a little funnier than it is true, but like once that happened, once he started dating Adele, I was like, well, this is the anointing of like this can never go wrong. LeBron is always going to be above Scandal, and his whole crew is always going to be in the mix because Adele, she minted it.
Well, you know what? LeBron is polarizing, but he's above Scandal, right? He's smart enough not to get into trouble, but he is a little polarizing.
He's at the mountaintop. There's no way that like even if there was something like it's just it would mean
You
too
think it would
much
just
to
brush
dragging.
off?
Yeah, they would hide it.
I don't know. Ask him if he knows a guy named OJ. Anyway, no one's above anything.
No, I'm talking about he hasn't done anything yet. That's
Oh,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah. It's
yeah.
not. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
There's,
He's married still to his.
yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm sure that like who knows, but we would know if there was, right?
Yeah. Can I just ask you a totally random question that I'm just pulling out of thin air?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any altercations with any like stars from Canada outside a nightclub or anything like that?
Well, for a long time, I did think this is probably all made in my head. I did think that like Drake had an issue with me, and it was just like maybe I wanted to be friends with Drake, and Drake was just like too close in proximity, and like I was in his way, and maybe I got a shoulder bumped a couple times, and I thought it was on purpose, and then we had some mutual friends that maybe asked about it, and allegedly he said something to the tune of no, I don't know him, but.
You know what? I'm going to mark my words. You will dress Drake someday.
I would love that.
I believe it would happen.
I'm a Drake fan.
Yeah.
He's the man. Honestly, are you guys Drake fans?
I
like
respect him, man. What his success is
Drake
unbelievable.
Hotel in Chicago. I love it. So, and by the way, I've got 4 other towels. I wish they weren't so fluffy. I can barely fit them in my suitcase.
I'm a big Drake fan.
Did you see that they just named the most successful star in the world? Now it's a music star based on downloads on Spotify, but guess who it is? It's not Drake. It's another Canadian.
Oh, another Canadian.
And it's
Celine
not
Dion.
Biebs.
Dion.
The
Celine Dion.
Weekend.
Oh yeah, no, The Weeknd. Yeah,
The
for
Weekend,
sure.
number one.
Dude, this is such a crazy. Okay, so my ex fiance, she's when you do this thing in LA. For anybody who wants to move to LA and date, when you date a girl that's been in LA or from LA, literally like you gotta ask like what celebrities have you dated? Like, don't make me look like a fool. Like you gotta tell me. And on her list, she had dealings with The Weeknd.
See,
Really?
And I didn't listen to his music for a long time.
I've told Tom this before, and this years ago when I said before I was married and dating in LA. First, you have to have a lot of money. You got to have a job. You got to have nice clothes and all that. So I decided back then everybody's making apps, and I came up with my own app for dating. It was called Third World Women. And I said, how hard could it be to really impress like a third world woman? It's like you meet
this real?
meet an Aborigine girl, and she's like, "Do you have your own shoes?" And I'm like,
No
"Yeah."
way, is this real?
Yeah, I got shoes, and like t-shirts that it's cotton.
Don't look at
Kato,
me,
you're a
Brandon. I don't
genius.
know.
So it's,
You're a
it's
genius,
kind of a
man.
nice thing. So I can impress
Is
a lot.
is this app still in beta?
Yeah, third world women.
I love it.
Check it out.
That's a long name for an app.
Oh yeah. So you have your own hut? I do.
It's called Hut Dating.
And so it's pretty impressive. The girls that I
Hut
met
date.
back then.
Hey, what would happen? Okay, if she reveals it was The Weekend, right? And then you're in the car together, and a song comes on. You turn.
No,
to the back-
that is exactly what continued to happen after that. It's like, that's the thing. It's like she said it, and then I couldn't unhear it. Yeah. And I couldn't unhear his music either. But like she created a narrative too that made him like be more of an asshole than he probably actually is. But the girl is my ex-fiance for a reason.
Wow. Okay. You know, I think there should be a
Shout out to
rule.
The
I don't
Weeknd.
think you should talk about your past when you're with someone new. I really
Yeah,
don't.
that's toxic.
I think it's nothing but trouble.
It's
don't
toxic.
act, if
You
it
don't-
was
you
so
don't
great,
do that.
why aren't you
It was
still
a very
with them?
toxic question that I asked.
Yep, you don't do that, and that's why you move forward. and
She
that's it.
actually asked me the question first. So like I'm at that age, I was a little more petty, and I was like, well,
Did you go, here, it's all on this thumb drive? Here's my list right
yeah,
here.
yeah, 100%. I still keep a paper list and folded up and keep it since college.
Well, I'm going to tell you my waist is 33, 32 length. If you want,
I got you, man.
Brandon,
Touching jeans, bro. I got you.
Get the man.
Okay.
He's
I got
got
you.
some big things coming up. He might need a wardrobe.
Hey, regardless
they'll
of
be
that,
welcome on the show,
regardless
yeah.
of that, you guys got good energy. I appreciate being here.
Thank
and
you.
so on that piece of info alone, you earned free jeans from me.
Hudson.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got you.
Thank you so
That's
much.
top
Let's
of the
hold him
line.
to it, right?
Yeah.
Dave, you want a pair of jeans? Right place at the right time today.
listen,
as opposed to the wrong place at the wrong time, which could be horrible.
That could be a scandal.
I love it.
Okay, what can we plug for you? Bleacher Report.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about what you were doing with LeBron's team.
So there's a show that was called The Thread. And so at the time, there's not a lot of like platforms that actually highlight guys that typically would not have a platform that guys that are into style are creative guys. They try to paint a particular narrative about a guy into that, right? And so Uninterrupted wanted to do content that kind of busted that theory. You know, guys can talk about creative outlets, fashion, art, all the things. So they assembled this A squad, so to speak, and they called it The Thread. It was myself, Mercedes Lewis, this guy by the name of Alan O'Neill has a really big fashion blog, and another former athlete, Jack McClinton. And we would get on set and we have guests like Reggie Bush, all the different people come in and talk about style and stuff. So
very
it was cool.
Mercedes Lewis Packer. There we go.
And
you
Reggie
go.
Bush, very stylish.
A
Very
lot of
stylish.
Wisconsin sports, a lot of stuff.
Cato's
a lot
the
of
man. Follow him on
Minnesota,
Twitter. You'll find
Minnesota,
out.
you know.
We got the
Ohio.
Midwest connection right here. We got Ohio, Wisconsin.
Well,
Detroit.
Carries from Detroit.
Exactly.
Well, more in the because you got you actually can dress more there because of the four seasons.
Yes, we can layer.
You can get you can do the winter, you can do the summer, you can do the fall.
Yeah.
It's like
we
four
all are layered up
seasons.
too. By the way,
Hey, by the way, who is on your hit list? Who do you want? If we interview you
Yeah.
1 year from now that you would like to get, who is it?
oh man, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to be his stylist because I know his stylist, but I would love for LeBron and Anthony Davis to be rocking some of my collection from Hudson. That would be cool.
How do you make jeans for Anthony Davis?
Well, surprisingly, they're cut long enough, like a 36-inch seam, like because people don't
7-footer?
wear. Yeah, because it's not like his legs aren't that long.
Okay.
You know, and it's different. Like a lot of guys, they have weird body proportions, and I say weird, just different. Like long arms and like short legs is kind of creepy. So yeah, I want those guys to be able to rock my stuff. I don't think it's out of the question. They didn't get the first collection, so if you hear me. Got
It's a
some
good
Hudson
choice.
for
They're
you.
right here in your backyard. What
Yeah.
any style tips for anybody out there? What's in right now? What's
Yeah.
around the corner, especially with jeans? Is it
Yeah, I think a lot of oversized is coming back, you know. So I'm a fan of like slim tapered jeans, but you know, mix it up a little bit. Throw in some straight leg jeans with some boots. It might be a vibe.
bib overalls? They never go out of style, right?
Well, it depends. Like, don't wear the painter ones. I mean, I can honestly make anything look good. So if you got a question, bro, if you want to throw in some overalls, if you got some Levi's that you've been trying to do something with, call your boy. You know, I got you. Kato, you too. You know, whatever you got, bro.
I got
you.
my orange vest in my fanny pack. I'm happy.
Kato, we have our fashion consultant. We're gonna have you
Yeah.
back.
Please
Do you
have me
mind?
back.
Loved it.
No.
And
I'm
give
all
us
about it.
some tips every now and then. If there's something happening, you
We
sign a big
should.
client.
You know, I literally preparing for today. I was looking at the this old trial footage and like maybe we'll start talking about trials that had like cool fashion moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So-
we'll start with this guy.
Well, dude, I want to tell
Trial
you.
footage,
I will
yeah.
tell you. The thing is, one thing that I remember, I can tell you this speaking like so honestly, greatest hair ever to hit a witness stand.
Yep, it was Kato.
Yeah,
Carrie,
I was-
you
Yeah,
agree?
I'm
I got-
telling
I
you,
had-
the
I had a
greatest,
lot of-
greatest
I
hair
had-
ever, bro.
I've had many hair people. We did all the magazines from People and
Oh.
Details. Everybody did hair.
There was actually
I
like
did
a
lot.
moment too where I think you had like a tan, like a khaki suit on. It was like I don't know. It was you looked cool, bro. Every single time. So shout out to you, G.
Hey, Kato, did you put a lot of thought into what you were wearing?
I
you?
did. I
Like that-
didn't, but there was a publicist at the time asked me to wear one of his coats. I'm not going to get into the whole thing of what happened years later, asking for it back, and that
No.
was kind of very strange. And then it was, anyways.
Do you still have it?
Yeah.
But Brandon,
no.
the great
I
story is,
have
You're
two
like-
of the suits. but-
Okay.
you know, it's not like Kato was sitting in It had to be scary as hell, right?
Yeah, I'm
Having to go
sure.
out there, not knowing what they're
I
going to
didn't,
ask.
I didn't put much thought.
And
But that's
plus-
a really
plus-
good question, though.
Yeah, and you know what else? He was sequestered, right? You were in a
Right,
little room
yeah.
most of the time, and then when was your time to perform? You had to go out there.
Yes, I did. I did break out one time with I have a mole here, but they had 2 pimples by it, and it was just awful in that side
Yeah.
of the camera.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if like people were like really conscious of what they were wearing and how they were being presented. I mean, was it just another day at the
Yes,
office?
I can tell you they did because I was sequestered, not listening. But if you notice, the prosecution team changed their hairdo one of them. They did.
No,
they-
for sure.
You know they were rocking the
Because-
power
No,
suits.
one
and all.
down.
because
1000%.
because you have consultants saying, here's what they like there. Maybe the jury, that's
But
just
you know, there's so much research that goes into this,
Yeah.
and
100%.
focus groups. Because I'm
exactly.
working on this big story that has a trial involved, and they don't leave anything for chance. Because when your when your life is in the hands of the jury,
Right,
you
yeah.
want every little advantage you can get.
No, I mean, I think that that's what I'm saying. The importance of wardrobe, or importance of image, is everything. That's why there will forever be job security for a wardrobe stylist.
And you're in the right area, professional sports, because
Right.
they're always going to be able to afford it. It's never like they're going to skimp on that. And,
There's no
it's
recession in sports.
And it's become a thing too, where the walk into the arena, it's
Yeah.
always caught on camera. It's a big deal.
It's a real big deal. There's actually a show coming that's going to launch like right when the playoffs launches, and I'll be on their first episode. I don't know if I can say, but it's called NBA Red Carpet on ESPN, so that'll be cool.
Great.
It's a big thing.
Okay. All right.
I'll watch and look for you.
Please
Yes.
do.
Anything else? What are you wearing tonight? Have you picked out your? It's a Friday night.
It's a Friday night.
Would you
yeah.
change clothes 4 times a day?
Nah, it's I actually am a very comfy dresser. I perfected the art of comfy, So today I've got like this like big oversized like corduroy leisure pants on and just John Barbados leather jacket.
I like that because I just started my period. So, anyways, with that though, I think we should
love
get
it.
going.
We are going to go. I'm going to give you one business tip.
Please.
Use your Ohio and LA connections
Yes.
to go back to Columbus and put together a fashionable line of
Yes.
of licensed apparel for the Buckeyes.
I would love to do that.
Because that would sell big.
Yeah.
Like
You know
bring
what?
style
That's
into
prophetic.
it.
You
Because
got-
they would bring you in a second.
I styled CJ Stroud and Jackson and Jigma Smith for all of their stuff this year.
That's the guy you want to get is Stroud right
Right,
now.
for
And
the draft.
And you know
Yep.
what? That the idea is also an outfit. Everybody, when I was a kid,
Shout out to CJ.
when I was a kid, I'll never because I watched all the football, Ohio State and Wisconsin. I hated Ohio State because you would look at the helmet when they have the Buckeye.
Yes.
there. That's the sweater because when you're a kid
Oh,
looking at that,
the
you're going-
Buckeyes?
Yeah, whenever they have a
you're
big
thinking-
play, they
you're
get
thinking
a
like
stamp.
that is really cool, and that
Yeah.
guy must be really good. If you have those
Somewhere.
somewhere, I
We,
think that's
we,
a-
we should
good
we
idea.
should. All right.
I
Well,
think
as
that's a
long
good
as you
look.
won't charge me for that. See, that's what I'm saying. This is
But that
this is really
works
not a a
because
pod.
Hey, Brandon,
it's
we've
in my-
got contracts
It's
too.
in my head. I'll never forget that. I think that kind of stuff sticks out.
Yeah,
I'll never forget
it does.
what image it portrays of strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, that's cool. And it kind of goes back to what I'm saying. You guys are a treat because you're not just a podcast. This is really like a consultant session. I think it's a think tank. So thank you for the ideas.
We like to think so, don't
Yes,
we?
we'll bill you later.
You
Please.
can't believe
I'll
the
have my
ideas that
attorney
have
talk
come
to
out
your
of this
attorney.
room.
yeah, it's all good.
Or the lies. It's fine.
Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me, man.
Brandon,
it's been, fun,
it's been
dude.
awesome. Hey,
Thank you.
plug anything you want.
Yeah, we got. You can go find my collection with Hudson Jeans at any Saks that you can hit, or Hudson Jeans online. And I am Brandon Williams or Brand Wills on Instagram and Twitter.
And a heartfelt congratulations on a great career you've
Thank
carved
you,
out for
man.
yourself
I
and
appreciate
continued
it.
success.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Thank you.
I love the style, love the energy, love the hustle.
Yes.
Nothing but huge things coming your
You
way,
guys
man.
are
Really happy for you.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
We'll see you on the rebound.
They just don't stop, do they?
No, they don't. No. As a matter of fact, once we stop rolling, the jokes go on and on. But the green room here is awesome. So for Kato Kalin, for Big Brandon over
Yeah.
here, I'm Tom Zenner. For Dave back there, who didn't fall asleep today, and for Carrie.
did
Carrie,
yawn.
thanks so much for coming to watch us.
He did
Yes.
yawn.
It was
He-
Carrie, can I borrow the
Dave
sunglasses
did
again?
yawn twice.
Those are some cool shades. He did? Okay, we'll have a conversation, Dave. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next week.